What is Stockholm Syndrome? How many of us have watched the Bollywood movie Highway with Aaliyah Bhatt in its lead role and have wondered how she ever ended up falling in love with somebody who was technically her kidnapper? Have you ever given a thought as to how those romantic or even affectionate feelings were developed within the kidnapped person? Stockholm Syndrome is a proposed psychological condition wherein an individual who is held captive or as a hostage develops affectionate feelings or emotions towards the kidnapper or the abuser. With this condition, hostages or victims of torture may begin to sympathize with their captors. This is the polar opposite of the fear, horror, and contempt that one might expect victims to exhibit in similar situations. Some victims do grow to acquire good sentiments for their captors over time. They may even grow to believe they have similar aims and reasons. The victim may come to have ill will against the police or other authorities. They may detest anyone who tries to assist them in getting out of their unsafe circumstances. The term Stockholm Syndrome was coined for the first time in 1973 on the face of a bank robbery in Stockholm, Sweden. Two men held four people as hostages during the bank robbery for about 6 days. After these hostages were finally released after 6 days, they were interrogated for the details of the heist and their captors. Even though these events have occurred earlier in the account of history and have been recorded, this robbery induced the psychologists and psychiatrists to name it Stockholm Syndrome from the place where the very bank is situated. Despite having scientific records of multiple incidents proving the existence of the syndrome and the likelihood of people developing these symptoms in the face of being kidnapped or being held captive, the syndrome has not yet been included in the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders. Fu. DSM-V. There is no conventional therapy for Stockholm Syndrome as it is not recognized as a psychological illness under the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders V. However, treatment for Stockholm Syndrome, just like the treatment for PTSD, typically includes psychiatric and psychological counseling, talk therapy, and/or medication. Psychiatrists and psychologists consider Stockholm Syndrome as another coping mechanism that produces quite gruesome psychological effects and consequences. Instead of dread, anxiety, and animosity towards your abuser, you may learn to feel humanity and compassion for them. If you or a loved one has suffered from Stockholm Syndrome, please understand that your good sentiments towards your abuser are not your